All right, here we go with game two. Scott losing game one, opting to go first again. Mulligan's a full 7. Ed, after seeing that, being the player that is going to be on the draw, is able to make his mulligan decision after he sees what Scott wants to do. And it looks like he put back 5. He kept 2 cards. Once again, probably fishing for that Flynn Rider. If he doesn't have it, maybe just keeping a couple of 1-drops. Let's see. Oh, I didn't see how he shuffled his hand there, so I don't actually know what he kept. But yeah, man, it's a real uphill battle for Scott here. I just said at the end of match 1 that we may see Ruby Amethyst take all 3 games on the draw. That's just how powerful this match is. I mean, the Pirate's Life, I don't think inking that in this matchup is correct. I think you need the Pirate's Life. It's like one of your only ways to slow down Ruby Amethyst because you don't have Lucky Dime. So you can't just like blow them out with a Tamatoa Lucky Dime, and you wouldn't even be able to anyways. Your deck is too slow into Ruby Amethyst now anyways. It's not like how Ruby Sapphire was in like set 3 when it was able to do that. I mean, this opening hand would normally be pretty decent for Ruby Sapphire. You know, turn 1 Popsicle, turn 2 Ramp. The only thing he's missing is that Hiram. He's going to be able to play Grandma on 4, which I imagine he's going to want to do to set up singing the How Far I'll Go on 5. Ed going to banish the broom after questing with it, playing out a Chernobog 1. Does not have the Flynn Rider, so Scott will be happy to see that, considering he does not have a Brawl or an Ice Block Sisu in order to answer that. But Ed does have 2 1-drops, which in my opinion are just as good as playing a Flynn Rider on 2 anyways. These 1-drops just pinging away for 1 lore while replacing themselves is so powerful. You know, I will say, Ed, I forget who he played in round 1. I'll go back and double check. Or like round 16, top 16, who he played in the first. I don't think he played the Ruby Sapphire. Zan played the Ruby, or, oh geez. No, he did play. He played RMB? I think he played RMB, right? Yeah, Ruby Amethyst against Ruby Sapphire. He played RMB. Oh, whoa, I thought the camera froze there for a second. I guess they were just thinking. Yeah, so he played Ruby. Ruby Amethyst played Sapphire Amethyst. Then, I don't remember what he played in top 8, but then he beat Zan in top 4, which is Emerald Steel, which is his worst matchup. And now he's against Ruby Sapphire. So yeah, as expected, I mean, yeah, we called this, right? Scott playing the Grandma on 4. Ed completely dodged what would have been his worst matchup in the Amber Steel. So that is something to consider about this run. All the Amber Steel players were on the other side of the bracket, which worked out very nicely for Ed. I mean, I'm not saying he would have lost, but it would have made this run a lot tougher for him. He did still play what is probably one of his worst matchups in the Emerald Steel against Zan, who's probably one of the best pilots along with Vaughn. I mean, they're both DLC winners. But yeah, by no means was Ed's run easy, but it definitely could have been a little bit harder if those Emerald Steel players would have faced him on the other side of the bracket. So yeah, very, very weak opening, honestly, from Ed, but you'll see if he's going to be able to still clutch out the win here. A lot of uninkables. He just needs to get to this rabbit, though, is what I'm assuming. In the meantime, Scott getting a very, very powerful hand or opening, you know, playing the Grammatala, getting the Sing on the How Far I'll Go, right? Having the Tipo up. The Tipo probably going to trade into the Diablo here, which is good for Ed because he just needs the redraw, right? He needs to get some inkables. The small Sisu here taking out the broom is really good. And then Tipo challenging into the... I mean, does he even challenge into the Diablo or does he quest? Because he can banish on the shift next turn, but I don't even know if you want to do that. Yeah, he's going to take it out instead. Give him the draw. Draws into a Brawl, which is okay. No Hiram, but he does have a Grandma for the next turn. And down comes the Rabbit. Ed playing that with the quickness. Starting to see some of those inkables, which is very nice. But Scott... Oh, no, Scott's still on 1. It's Ed who's on 3, I guess. I wasn't paying attention to the lower count there at the bottom. Pay 4 for another Grandma here. probably going to ink. There's the Hiram. He definitely takes that over the shark. And then he's going to have to ink the Tamatoa and play the brawl on the rabbit. He wants to get those rabbits out of rotation. Seeing how weak Ed's opening hand is, you're going to ink this brawl? That's absolutely crazy. You're going to give him... You saw how weak his opening hand was. I would think you'd want to get rid of the brawl. I mean, get rid of the rabbit. You're keeping the Tamatoa. Hoping to outrace, I guess, then in that case. It's awkward, though, because next turn you're going to play Hiram instead of Tamatoa for 8. Yeah, Ed's hand is very weak right now. You probably trade rabbit into Tipo, is what I would assume. No. This is sort of risky. Because what you can do here is sail, double ink, shift Sisu with only 1 card in hand to wipe the board, including the rabbit. No, you don't want to double ink because you don't want to double ink your Hiram. Yeah, you'll have too many cards in hand to proc the Sisu anyways, I think. Looks like he is going to do the sail, though. I don't know if that's correct. He's definitely going to play Hiram. Like, it may have been better to play Hiram first because you might just want to ink that sail. So Ed's on 5 ink. 2 away from a be prepared. You definitely want to keep the second Hiram in hand. There's no way you ink a Hiram here, man. That's crazy if you do. I mean, again, we know he double inks the Tamatoa anyways. He's going to shift with the 1 card being Hiram left in hand to wipe the board and then just quest out. Okay. I mean, I couldn't find the line myself to get to the 1 card in hand, so I guess that makes sense. And it puts Ed... That's actually a pretty good line. That's actually really good, actually, from Scott. I mean, you don't normally see this kind of play from a Ruby Sapphire player because they're much more conservative, but they're basically trying to play an aggro role right now. Ink a brawl, pass turn, and that's a good signal to Scott that the be prepared is in hand. Quest out for another 6, going to 15. And this is where that Pirate's Life could come into handy. And he just passes turn on nothing, expecting the be prepared to come in. And it does. Scott playing very well here, actually. Really good play. Now he can follow up with the Hiram, knowing full well that it's likely getting banished next turn. So this is his only draw too. That's why inking the other Hiram kind of hurt. I think he's going to really want to keep that hideaway, but he might not have a choice. Is it worth playing out a Maui here to protect against the Tremaine? Force your opponent on, have the other be prepared. You know what? Scott is playing really well in this match. Oh, but there's the other brawl anyways. I think he saw Ed ink 2 of them, right? So he's like, okay, he probably doesn't have another one, hopefully. But he does. Oh, Tamatoa here is actually very interesting. I mean, Ed does have a lot of cards. The hard casting of the friends is really good, though, for Scott here. Scott doing what he can to stay in this game. I don't even know if you ink that Azure at Sea or if you pass. Yeah, because, you know, you would think ink Azure at Sea, play by Talisphere, but no, you value the cantrip off of the sail. Ed here might just be forced to play out a Tremaine to just start dealing with this Maui because holy crap, what happened? Okay, well, they got the stream back up, so I think they tried to pause the match so that we would reconvene once the recording is back up. And so where we left off last, I mean, the lore count is still outdated. I think Scott should be on like 15 or 16. But he does play this Tamatoa, get back Popsicle, play out the Popsicle, and that was where the stream cut last. So now we're passed back to Ed. And this Tamatoa is going to quest for at least 3, if not more, next turn, which will put Scott up to, I think, 19 almost. 18 or 19. And he'll probably play the Vitalosphere to get even more quest off on the Tamatoa. Yeah, so they just reset the lore counter there at the bottom. Yeah, Scott should have this game. So we're not going to see a 3-0 sweep, but Ed will be able to go on the play on the following turn. I think he's going to try to search for more items off this Tamatoa, because does he have anything to bring back right now? Probably not, and I don't even know if you value popping the Popsicle for nothing to get it back with the Tamatoa, or if you value the 1 lore that it's going to give you extra off of the Tamatoa questing here. I'm surprised that Ed didn't try to just go for the Tremaine. Okay, the Gravitala comes in. He's got a Brawl and something else to make a decision on. I think he's just fishing for items. But he's only playing like 9 of them in total. Yeah, so he is going to value the proc of the Tamatoa to bring back. So he does lose 1 lore there. He's going to go to 18 though still. Yep. 18 instead of 19. And I think he's on 2 Pirates Life. He did ink. Wait, did he ink? I think he inked one at the beginning of this game. Oh, he drew into the Pirate's Life. So he just has game. Yeah, just show him the Pirate's Life, right? He has no way to hand rip or discard it. So, yep, Scott has this one locked up. And it's going to be 1 apiece. So we are going to see game 3 come in right after. He's like, oh, quest first, but it doesn't even matter. So, draw, play the Pirate's Life, win the game. Yep. Game 3. Ed's hand was really bad that game, though. So victory for Ruby Sapphire. It's 1 apiece. On to game 3 we go.